Kanu's lawyer, brother, and 10 others remanded in Kuje prison over Sowore-Led protests. Kanu, Katsina, and Jigawa launched 50 billion naira regional electricity market initiative. Northern monarchs convene in Kebbi to address rising insecurity concerns. And on the foreign scene, Madagascar's AU suspension sparks debate on legitimacy and democracy. Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Now, a magistrate court in Kuje, Federal Capital Territory, has ordered the remand of Barrister Aloy Ejimako, lead counsel to IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, his brother Prince Emmanuel Kanu, and 10 others at the Kuje Correctional Center. They were arraigned on charges of inciting disturbance and breaching public peace following the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu Now protest held in Abuja on Monday. The protest, led by activists and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore, demanded the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, who is currently standing trial for terrorism. Security operatives had dispersed the protesters and made several arrests. In a post on X, Kanunta Kanu, another brother of the IPOB leader, alleged a conspiracy involving the executive, legislature, and judiciary to frustrate Kanu's upcoming trial scheduled for Thursday. Sowore, in a separate post, accused the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, for orchestrating the detention of the protesters. Ejimako also confirmed that the magistrate ordered their remand until Friday, despite efforts to make legal representations for bail. Now, the presidency has issued a stern warning to human rights activist Omoyele Sowore against using protests to influence judicial proceedings. Special advisor to the president on media and public communication, Sunday Dare, gave the warning on Monday, saying matters of justice are resolved in courtrooms, not through public agitation. In a post on his verified X handle, Dare was reacting to the hashtag Free Nnamdi Kanu protests in Abuja, led by Sowore, describing such demonstrations as counterproductive and inimical to the rule of law. The presidential aide further explained that the case of leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, long predates President Bola Tinubu's administration and remains strictly under judicial consideration. Now, Kanu, Katsina, and Jigawa states have unveiled plans to raise 50 billion naira to establish a regional electricity market aimed at accelerating access to power and improving energy reliability across the three states. The agreement was sealed during a high-level electricity summit in Marrakesh, Morocco, where stakeholders outlined strategies to expand embedded generation, solar home systems, grid extensions, and mini-grids. According to a statement by the spokesperson for the Kanu Ministry of Power and Energy, Saad Umar Farouk, the state also plans to acquire equity stakes in Future Energies Africa, the core investor in the Kanu Electricity Distribution Company, to strengthen its operations and strategic direction. Kanu's Commissioner for Power and Renewable Energy, Gaddafi Sani Shehu, said the collaboration will promote regulation, efficiency, and mutual benefits while cutting distribution losses and enhancing supply to customers. Now, judicial activities in Osun State have been grounded as members of the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria continue their strike over poor welfare conditions. The industrial action, which began on September 19th, has left courts across the state on the lock and key. Trust TV's Hamid Oyebade completes the report.
At the Osun State High Court in Osogbo, the premises remain deserted as judicial workers press on with their strike, demanding improved welfare packages, long overdue promotions, and the payment of outstanding allowances. Since the strike began, courtrooms have remained closed, halting legal proceedings and leaving many litigants stranded. The workers insist they will not return to work until their demands are met.
So far, our promotion has not been given. Even 2025 have not been given. Another demands, all our allowances, all interest and running costs. Nothing has been given since 2014. We have been demanding for that since 2014 up to today. They are not given. That is why we are on strike.
We are appealing to our leadership, our CJ, to please to come to our aid. We are not fighting now. We are fighting for our lawfully rights. Just to come to our aid. Our others in other ministry have been collecting their agency, in other agency, collecting their promotions since 2024 and 2025.
What we are facing in judiciary, in Osun State judiciary right now, is something that is very bad, very ridiculous. We are not enjoying ourselves as a staff. In fact, what we are agitating for is a very simple thing and very straightforward. We just need our CJ to come for JSC meeting. It's the right of the CJ to come for JSC meeting.
Lawyers and residents have expressed concern that the prolonged strike is crippling justice delivery in the state. They appealed to the state government and judicial authorities in the state to urgently resolve the impasse and restore court operations.
The Jusun strike has negatively affected the people of Osun State. And looking at people that have legal cases, trials, have not been able to proceed with that. And people in the prison that are seeking bail have not been able to, they don't have hope of gaining their freedom anytime soon. And the government needs to interfere, do the needful, cater for whatever is needed, and make sure that this strike comes to an end very soon.
It really affects lawyers because most of the lawyers in this jurisdiction are litigations lawyers, and most of their works are in the court. So without going to court to work, it really affects their incomes. So we are imploring the judiciary leadership to please act to Jusun's demand so that the court can be open and things can start going smoothly as before.
Efforts to reach the Chief Judge of Osun State, Justice Adepele Ojo, for comments were unsuccessful as at the time of filing these reports. Amid Oyegbade, Trust TV News, Osogbo.
In other news, traditional rulers from across northern Nigeria, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Sa'ad Abubakar III, have converged in Birnin Kebbi for a two-day regional meeting focused on tackling growing insecurity in the northwest. The meeting, which began today and ends tomorrow, will be declared open by Governor Nasser Idris with the Emir of Gwandu, Alhaji Muhammadu Ilyasu Bashir, as host. Several first-class monarchs, including the Etsu Nupe, Emir of Kagara, Shehu of Bama, and Emir of Biu, arrived Birnin Kebbi on Monday ahead of the summit. Organized under the Northern Traditional Rulers Council, the session is expected to deliberate on the worsening security situation and other socio-economic challenges confronting the region. The Federal Capital Territory High Court sitting in Maitama, Abuja, has fixed November 13, 2025 for the hearing of the ongoing legal tussle over the Apo Resettlement Market Scheme. A defendant applicant, represented by Counsel Real 1, Okpanachi, filed a motion seeking an order compelling the claimant's respondent to pay 50 million naira as punitive cost for allegedly refusing to comply with a court order issued on April 15, 2025. Tuesday's scheduled hearing could not hold due to the absence of Justice Yusuf Halilu, who was attending a workshop at the National Judicial Institute, but a new date was communicated to all parties. At the center of the dispute is Plot 1729, Cadastral Zone E27, Apo District, the site of a multi-billion naira market development project. The claimants in the substantive suit are Amac Investment and Development Company and 2 others, while Shoaibu Omoyeza Musari and Tex and Concrete Nigeria Limited are the respondent applicants. In the April ruling, Justice Halilu granted an interlocutory injunction restraining all parties, especially the claimants, from continuing any form of construction on a disputed site pending the determination of the substantive suit. Despite this, the defendant's counsel alleged that construction continued in grave and willful contravention of the court's directive. The rising cost of goods across Nigeria is making it harder for people to afford their usual products. Many are now switching to cheaper and lower quality options because of inflation. In Lagos, residents told Trust Television how the price hikes are affecting their daily lives. Victoria Tokolo's report is presented from our studio.
The constant rise in prices of goods is forcing many Nigerians to change what they buy. People are now choosing cheaper options that fit their budgets. In Lagos, some families who once buy sealed, branded vegetable oil now buy measured oil from open market because it's more affordable. Others who used to shop at supermarkets have switched to local markets to save money. Residents also complained about the high cost of cooking gas, which has forced many to switch to cheap alternatives like charcoal and firewood.
It has affected because we used to use close-up before, but now the hike of price of the close-up is very high. So we are now using my because it's cheaper to close up. Table oil, before I used to use sealed oil, but now I can't be able to afford it. I use the measuring one.
Money is expensive, too much. I don't know what is happening in Nigeria again. So the government to bring everything down in this Nigeria. We are suffering in this country too much. The suffering is too much. You can see I'm a mechanic engineer. All the parts we used to buy before, like 300, 400, now it's almost 10,000. I have a car, cannot buy for anything to put on my car.
It affected me so much that before I used to buy fish, like I'll buy ordinary cold fish. Now I'll buy this ordinary fish because I cannot afford it. The inflation was so much that before that I'll buy gas 1,000. Now gas is 2,000. We are using charcoal now. 2005 now.
I always use gas before. No money to buy gas. To buy charcoal, no charcoal 200 naira. Starting from 500, 1,000. It's too much.
The Indomie that I usually use is Indomie table. I do buy the pack. They sell it for me 6,000 something, but now they have increased it. But due to I like the quantity, I love what I get from it. I still maintain the price. I'm still buying it. And due to the close-up issue, I do buy it 600 before 800, but now they do sell it 1,2. I still buy it because I love what I get from it.
Many Nigerians are calling on the government to step in and ease the burden of inflation. They are asking for a reduction in the cost of raw materials so that every product, especially local ones, can be more affordable. For many families, even the bases are not out to reach.
The African Democratic Congress ADC Secretariat in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, has been set ablaze by suspected hoodlums ahead of the planned inauguration of the party's new state executive council. Properties destroyed include a 1,000 capacity canopy with chairs, another 150 capacity canopy, and sections of the Secretariat's building which were torched during the attack. Party members condemned the incident and urged security agencies to identify and arrest those responsible, warning that such acts could heighten political tension in the state. As of press time, ADC loyalists had gathered at the Basiri Road Secretariat, awaiting the arrival of national officers expected to inaugurate the new state executives. They also cautioned political thugs to avoid actions that could destabilize the state, stressing that campaign activities have not yet begun. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated Bernard Doro from Plateau State as a Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, forwarding his name to the Senate for confirmation. A nomination follows the elevation of Nentawe Goshwe Yilwada, former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, who became National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in July. The appointment was announced in a statement on Tuesday by Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga. Presidency sources disclosed that Tinubu, during a private meeting with aides on Monday evening, also hinted at plans to fill 2 other vacant cabinet positions, including the Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, who recently resigned. Born on January 23, 1969 in Kwalbasa local government area of Plateau State, Dr. Doro is a seasoned medical professional with over 2 decades of experience in clinical practice, pharmaceutical management, and strategic leadership across Nigeria and the United Kingdom. He is also known for his youth mentorship and social impact initiatives within the Nigerian diaspora and local communities. If confirmed by the Senate, Doro will be sworn in at a forthcoming Federal Executive Council meeting. Jigawa State is taking bold steps to address the long-standing challenge of Almajiri street begging. The state government has launched a comprehensive reform to transform the Almajiri education system and give every child a chance at a better future. The report.
As part of efforts to integrate Almajiri children into formal education system, the Jigawa state government has begun establishing modern, well-equipped Sangaya schools across the state. According to the Executive Secretary of the Sangaya Education Board, Dr. Abubakar Maja Haimisu, several of these schools are already completed and fully operational, with hundreds of pupils currently enrolled. The new model blends Islamic and Western education, providing children with both academic knowledge and strong moral grounding. Each Sangaya school is equipped with classrooms, hostels, dining halls, laundry units, and vocational training centers, all aimed at creating a safe, supportive environment for learning and personal growth.
And not trying to enroll. Already we have enrolled about 500 students now. And we did that through the Almajiri prison system that we established in Jigawa State. And this school comprises of at least 5 local government areas. We have Gomel, Silatankarkar, Megatari, Garki, and the other local government areas.
Is the accommodation ready?
Indeed, look at it. You can even check it. We have the accommodation. We have the in the hostel. We have the double-decker beds. We have the mattresses. We have the nets. We have the blankets. We have everything is ready, and you can even check and confirm.
The Jigawa Model Sangaya School initiative is a step toward reducing the number of out-of-school children and ending the cycle of Almajiri street begging through education and empowerment. By championing this reform, Jigawa State is not only reshaping Almajiri education, but also setting a national example in educational innovation, youth development, and social inclusion.
The Ogun State government has issued a flood alert to residents living in riverbank and wetland communities, warning of a possible overflow of the Ogun River between October 20th and November 3rd, 2025. Commissioner for Environment Ola Oresonya, in a statement, listed the at-risk communities to include Akute, Alagbole, Isheri, Magboro, Kogi and others, and also parts of Abeokuta. He attributed the expected overflow to the controlled release of water from the Oyan Dam, triggered by heavy rainfall from northern parts of the country and rising tidal levels. Oresanya urged residents to move to higher grounds and avoid riverbanks, noting that while the overflow is inevitable, the tide is expected to subside within about 10 days. He reassured that the government had taken mitigation measures, but said nature's impact, driven by climate change, could not be fully prevented. And now in business, Nigeria imported 377.54 million litres of petrol between October 2024 and October 2025, representing 63% of total national consumption, despite the ramp-up in local refining activities led by the Dangote refinery, according to fresh data from the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The data obtained showed that Nigerians consumed 613.62 million litres of premium motor spirit over the one-year period. Of this, only 236.08 million litres were supplied by domestic refineries, underscoring Nigeria's continuing reliance on fuel imports. However, the figures reflect a positive shift toward local refining, with domestic production nearly doubling from 9.62 million litres per day in October 2024 to 18.93 million litres per day by October 2025. Meanwhile, import volumes plunged by 67% from 46.38 million litres per day. Away from Nigeria, the African Union's suspension of Madagascar following last month's military takeover has deepened divisions over the country's political future, raising more questions than answers about the regional bloc's response to the island's nation's turmoil. The suspension came after former President Andry Rajoelina fled the country amid weeks of Gen Z-led protests over power cuts, water shortages, and corruption, forcing his ouster. Parliament subsequently impeached Rajoelina for abandonment of office, paving the way for CAPSAT leader Michael Randrianirina to be sworn in as president on 17th October. Though the court advised a 60-day transition, CAPSAT leader announced a 2-year transitional period and a constitutional referendum, a move that has divided public opinion. While many Malagasy citizens view the junta as a rescue government, the AU Peace and Security Council has labeled the power shift an unconstitutional change of government, calling for a swift return to civilian-led rule and elections. In sports, the Nigeria Football Federation has announced that the Super Eagles will open their training camp in Rabat, Morocco on November 9th ahead of their 2026 FIFA World Cup African Playoff campaign, according to bsnsport.com.ng. Nigeria will face Gabon in the semi-final of the playoffs on November 13th, with victory scoring a place in the final on November 16th against the winner between Cameroon and DR Congo. The eventual champion of the playoffs will advance to the Interconfederation playoffs slated for March 2026, offering one final route to the World Cup. Although the Confederation of African Football has yet to confirm official match venues, the NFF says all logistics and preparations are underway. An NFF source disclosed to The Guardian that the official squad list will be released later this month. Super Eagles head coach Eric Chell had reportedly submitted a detailed training and preparation program, while invitation letters to selected players are expected to be sent out soon. Speaking over the weekend, NFF President Ibrahim Gusau expressed optimism about Nigeria's chances, stressing that early preparation, strategic planning, and government support will be vital to success. And that's a wrap on News Updates. Do not forget to follow us across all social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. Thank you for watching.